This is J.O.B the Podcast. Welcome back. You're probably wondering where we have been. This is season 2. We will be on, and we are back for good. We're sitting here with Mr. Blair Conklin, 3-time world champ skimboarder. What's up, Blair?
Yeah, James. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Dude, it's going to be really fun. I've been really excited to talk to you about, I guess I've always liked skimboarding, and you've been a world champion. Before I even knew you, I was watching what you're doing, and then somehow our careers and what we're doing kind of cross paths. And I think the cool thing is, at the end of the day, I think there's one thing we have in common is rivers, right?
For sure. And I think the first time I met you was through through like writing for Catch Surf, and also through YouTube. Like you were interested enough in what I did, and I remember like the first time ever hanging with you was down at Wedge, and you had invited me to come and hang out and film a vlog, and that was kind of like the start of my YouTube career, was through your help and through you wanting to do a video with me. So
yeah,
things were slow to start for me on YouTube, and then I did a couple of videos with you at the Wedge, and really kind of helped boost what I was doing and turned skimboarding into something that I would have never imagined. And it's the whole reason. You're probably the whole reason I'm able to like continue skimboarding and doing it for a living now. So
sick.
Yeah, I went from 0 to 100 pretty quick after a couple of those early on videos and some of your YouTube advice. So yeah, much appreciated to this day.
Easy. So like for me, right? I forgot why. Oh, actually, I met this Bill Bryan, which is how many time world champion?
Like 11.
Like more than Slater.
He's the goat. He's the
goat. Yeah. He's the best. So I made friends with Bill. He's really nice to me, and I was staying at Laguna at my friend's house, and then like. Actually, Bill's like giving me a skimboard, but like where we really made our friendship was at that San Diego wave pool. Mm-hmm. And we were just down there, and these guys ripped so hard. And I remember like Grape making me a board, which he's a great skimboard shaper as well.
Yep.
And I remember that was kind of like a time where like Beaker was like Grape's board's better than Victoria. And like they were like kind of like this whole back and forth where it's like he had the Victoria sticker, but then I don't know. So anyways, long story short, I was just hanging all these skimboarders. I'm like, these guys are sick. And I actually went home that summer, and Bill gave me a board. I still have the board because I don't know. It's like, Bill gave me this board. It's way too small for me. The guy's like freaking like, how much do you think he weighs?
Oh man, Bill's he might weigh less than I do these days. He's like vegan and like super healthy.
He's like $150.
Maybe $150. Yeah. That's what I'd guess. Probably have 10 pounds on him. Yeah.
And then at that time, I'm 200 pounds. I still try and ride this guy's skimboard, but I'm like, this guy's a legend.
Was that at the Wave House in San Diego, or was that?
Oh, he gave me the board at the Wave House, but then I would go down to like 10th Street and like go skimboarding with these guys. And I was like, I always loved skimboarding. I was very, I don't know, I was very into it at a young age.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we kind of all are as water people. It's almost like the easiest thing to get into at a very young age, because you don't have to swim out to the breakers. Yeah. You can just stay on the beach and slide into them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I grew up doing, and grew up watching Bill a ton. He was a huge inspiration for me from a young age. And I think what really like stood out about Bill from any other board rider that I'd ever seen was that skimboarding allowed him to easily transition into all these other board sports. He was an insane snowboarder, insane at the wave pool, really good at surfing as well. And he would be able to like mix them all together. Mm-hmm. And I think that I'm kind of just a continuation of what he was doing back in the day. And I think what he was doing was way ahead of the time, and really turned heads
for sure
back then. So yeah, it was great to grow up around him and have him and his brother George give me some they give me some tough love growing up, for sure. But it made me who I am today, and
But
definitely appreciative of it.
I feel like you're like the modern day Bill, Bryan, but cause like what Bill did for the sport of skimboarding is he put it on the map. He made it like more international than just skimboarding. Like you said, like he took it to snowboarding. He took it to, he took it to Africa. They rode the crazy river wave. He was constantly innovating. He went to Greenbush, got crazy barrels. Like this guy was on a mission. And at that time, that's when we're like releasing DVDs, those little circle things like this. Yeah. and 10th Street Bros, how many videos did they make?
Yeah.
They made a lot.
Probably tens, maybe into the hundreds, honestly. They have a drive of just like little videos that they've made. And they're pretty iconic, old school. They had to cut stuff I think they had to cut it on VHS or something, like clip the damn things together. I don't know how it worked back then, but
yeah, for sure.
It was a lot more effort to make a video back then. Totally. And they were doing it all under their own label.
100%.
And they were the first like kind of underground media company in a sense. So
yeah. And then I felt like you like saw that, and then like there was this like weird gap in skimboarding where it wasn't like really, I wouldn't say like recognized. Like there's always going to be that core group of guys like skimboarding. And then like Bill, started a family, did all this other stuff, but like then came Blair Conklin, and Austin Keene. You're like, holy smokes! Like both these guys are like radical. You're like breaking the internet. You're getting millions of views. Like you're like, all right, like this is a popular thing to see, and there's a reason why skimboarding's always been cool, but now it's like it feels like it relates with a middle of America kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I think that there's a kind of a formula to like a viral clip these days, and skimboarding seems to fit that mold pretty well, because I think that there's, you want to get people's attention really quick, and with skimboarding it's so close to you, the action is right in front of you, whether you're running from the beach or running into a wave at Kelly Slater's wave pool. It's all happening right there, and anyone and their grandma can film it with an iPhone. So you end up with all these iPhone clips, whether you want them or not. And there's some really good stuff that you can end up with just from going down to the beach on any given day and getting one good wave. And it's almost like the perfect time frame too. It's like around a 15-second ride, maybe a 10-second ride. Yeah. And the first 3 seconds is someone sprinting their butt off like
towards a wave.
Where are they going? What are they doing? Like it kind of puts in that question mark to it. And it was just like I don't know. I think that's what really put skimboarding on the map was how well it does on social media. And now that there's a bunch of people doing it and really, really at a high level, it's, I think, helped grow our sport a lot. And,
totally.
And maybe there hasn't been a whole lot of people that have started doing it because of it, but people recognize it and like know what it is. Whereas like 10 years ago, I'd have to explain it to people and they'd still be like, huh? Like, I
don't get it.
Don't get it. But nowadays, like, I'll tell people I'm a skimboarder, and 9 out of 10 times they understand it, which is kind of mind blowing to me.
Well, like for me, right? It's like you go to Walmart, there's skimboards. You go to Costco, probably gonna be skimboards. Like everywhere you look, in every big like sports store or like shopping center, you could buy a skimboard, because you could skimboard in Lake Tahoe. You could skimboard on the East Coast when the waves are flat. You could skim. Like it's kind of like this like thing where it's like like in Hawaii, like a lot of us were like sand sliders. Like we'd have the boogie board, we'd throw it down, we'd do this sick stuff. But like you guys in Laguna had the perfect wave to set up these perfect siders, which then I was drawn to, because I was like, oh, I love these little weird waves. And I really feel like that kind of made our friendship. We're like, oh, we like the same weird waves. Like we like these refraction waves that bounce off of rocks. We like rivers. Like that's when I knew we were gonna be good friends. Like, oh, we like rivers.
That's our kind of our friendship evolved there, because I think we both gravitated towards like wedge and those funny waves. But then like when you saw some of my river videos off the get-go, and I knew you had been riding the Waimea River, like then things really went next level with the type of videos we were doing together, and our geeking out over the trickle.
No, it's great. I always heard about Aliso River mouth, and I was always told like kind of around where it was, but like I never really understood the dynamics of the wave.
Yeah.
And I was always like, yeah, I heard there's a little river wave there, and I was like, kind of like whatever. I just ride Waimea River.
Yeah.
And I'm like a super die-hard river surfer. I'm like I'm like I call myself a river rat, and like there's like at Waimea Bay. Like there's a couple older guys than us that like been riding it way longer than us.
Yeah.
And then, before its own time, ancient Hawaiians used to ride Waimea River. It's something that you can't stop, that eventually it's gonna breach over the berm. But like I just fell in love with it from a young age. And I fell in love with it because of guys and likes of Mike Stewart and all these legends like riding these riverways for like minutes and minutes at a time. I was like, this is so cool. But the crazy thing, Blair, like when I first started riding river waves, it was like the biggest no-no to ride a surfboard on the river because we had fins and we were dangerous. We were a liability and I would get heavy vibes. And now it seems to be a little bit more like welcome and accepting to everybody. And it's still like, I really, when people show up to the river, it's like, oh, hey, could you like ride the wave like 3 back? Because like I don't want to see someone get hurt at the river. Because like it's crazy. That water's rushing 20 miles an hour out of the freaking river, and like there's fins flying at people's heads. Like there's a nasty rip current ripping out the sea. Like it's nuts. And when I went to Aliso, I was like, whoa, this thing is pretty nuts too.
Yeah, it's small but mighty. The Aliso River is like, it's probably 1/10 the amount of water as Waimea, but it just is so like the amount that the time that it takes for it to empty out is like 10-15 minutes. Yeah. And those 10 and 15 minutes are like maybe as powerful as Waimea, but just like condensed and like maybe a little narrower and everything, but there's more there's the water that's flowing down it is like going just as fast.
It's heavy water.
It's going just as fast.
But what you guys got different is your sand's so much finer.
Yeah.
Like the sand's so thin that it takes the water longer to like push the sand to the side, which keeps the volume of water higher and like at another
there's
level.
More pressure. There's more pressure because the canyon walls are harder to erode than the Waimea sand. So it keeps it really narrow and there's more pressure that flows down it. And so sometimes our issue is that it'll be like so powerful that there's never even like a rideable wave.
I've noticed that.
And so we almost need the beach to be not as sloped. Yeah. Like it needs to be like more of a gradual slope. Yeah, and then the wave forms better.
Well, because at Waimea, like every once in a while we get this like psycho thing that like we get this like 25-foot swell, pushes up the sand berm like 20 feet high. And then the problem is when we get these like huge rains that like come from like, I don't even know, Japan, just dumping in Japan snow. And then these things just sit over like in Hawaii, like right over us. Yeah. And then it's like
and then you destroy the beach.
It destroyed the beach. Yeah. But the crazy thing is that this flood is about to destroy every home in that valley. Yeah. And like, people live back there like that. And then there's like the Waimea Falls Park, and like, it's going to destroy like millions and millions of dollars of property and people's belongings. And like, it's just crazy, right? Because then it's all happening, and then the water's rising so fast. But like the state usually tries, because like at the end of a 25-foot swell at Waimea, it's going to be physically impossible for one human or 20 or 40 or 100 people to break the river. Yeah. So the city usually comes down with the tractors or a crane or X, Y, and Z, and they break it. Yeah. But
and it's a necessary thing for you guys, and 100%. It's a necessary thing for us, because the same thing happens back home. If our water stays stagnant for too long too, it gets really dirty and the bacteria levels rise and it gets super full. And then when it does break, it's like the grossest thing ever.
It affects the whole beach. It affects everyone that's swimming. It affects people that are swimming in the creek. Yep.
And it can at our beach, like it'll flood things too. Like there's a tunnel that you need to cross to go to the beach, and sometimes it'll flood that. And I've found that like the more consistently that you break it, the cleaner the water is because it's filling back up, and then it's also smaller releases. So it's not a detrimental amount of water flowing into the ocean and creating a huge amount of pollution. It's less frequent, cleaner water entering the ocean. Ours fills a lot from tide. Your guys's fill more from big swells.
Big swells, yeah.
And so we can compare and contrast. I don't know if river stuff is gonna bore people too much, but it's definitely both of our passions. And
well, clearly not. It doesn't bore people because there's millions and tens of millions of views, maybe even billions combined of both of our viewership of these river breaks.
Yeah, and there's a huge misunderstanding, 100%. I think, to how they work. And we do tend to only show a portion of what happens, but not everyone sees the day-to-day of the swells filling it up. The rains, collecting and flooding the back Waimea Canyon. Yeah. So I think people only see a picture of the real story, and that's why there's such a controversy around it. And they're really natural systems that fill up from the ocean and make a sand berm, and then eventually rain or tide will fill them up to a point where they have to breach the berm.
Totally.
And there's probably other places where maybe that isn't how it works, but in Waimea and in Laguna Beach, it's pretty common for these things to spill over the berm and create an incredible wave to ride.
Yeah, totally. And to your point, right? It's like where do you expect? We live in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. We get these huge storms that roll through. Like, where do you expect this water to go? It lands on the mountain, then it funnels into a valley, then the valley pushes that out into a waterway that the waves decided to be 25 feet high and push up the sand berm. Yeah. Like, do you want this water just to go back up into the sky, or like, hey, just go back up into the mountain? Like, the water needs to go somewhere. Yeah. And if you open the river, you're like, it's a community project. Like, you guys are all working together to break the river, to save the community, to save flooding, to save millions of dollars of what people have earned their whole lives of living there, and like their families are getting flooded out in these homes. The tractors are getting ruined. Like the whole system is just like, it's just not working. And we it's a win-win, right? It's like, we as the community, which I'm a product of my environment and my community, like, we break the river. Yeah. And then
that's like a historical thing here at Waimea. Like, people have been doing it who knows how long ago. I would love to know the first time someone broke the river at Waimea.
Just like I said, do your research. It goes into the ancient Hawaiian days. Waimea is called Waimea for a reason. I think it's called Red Water in Hawaiian, and it's clearly because of the floods and everything. It's like saying like, oh, the Grand Canyon, like, like, why'd you let the Grand Canyon loose?
Form.
Like, why'd you let this thing form? Someone, I don't know. But.
It's a similar situation in Laguna too, where sometimes we'll get to a point where our river gets so full that they have to manually break it with a tractor. Yep. And bringing a tractor down that's burning fuel, burning diesel, potentially leaking stuff on the sand, that's more of an environmental problem than if you can just dig it with a shovel and expedite the process and eliminate the flooding.
There might have been a couple of little baby fish in there. Like, it's okay. Like, the whole system goes round. It's like, this is life. This is how it's been before we've even been here.
Yeah. Those fish needed to be fed to the tuna out there.
Yeah. Well, it's a full system.
For sure.
All right. So let's just dive into this one. This is one of the really good questions I have for you. Who rode the longest river wave?
Oof. I think we're going to have to break it down from the video, my friend.
We got to break it down.
Yeah. Well, I think you have a pretty nuts one. And this was just this year, huh?
Look at this thing, dude. We scored Waimea River super early in the morning, and this was a leg burner. This thing.
Yeah. That was that The one where you didn't call me?
No, I think that's when I called you in the morning with Koa Smith. I was like, yo, what's up, Blair? Wish you were here. And then you're on the vlog, but you weren't there.
Yeah, so. I remember that. And my river senses were tingling that morning. I knew as soon as you called me, you were just about to rub it in my face. I knew it was coming.
I know you love rivers like I love rivers, and I always keep a track of what you guys are doing, and I'm always wishing I was there. But
yeah, I feel the same way. And I tend to extend the invite a lot, and get you down to Aliso and tell you when the river is gonna break. And then I come here to Waimea. Oh, sorry, bud, it's jammed up for like a month. And then the day I leave, the guy breaks it, man. I swear.
And the day before you get here, it's bro.
Yeah, the day exactly. That's where you really got me this trip.
I didn't do that.
Oh, sure.
They were gonna do it with or without me.
Yeah.
I showed up that morning and everyone dug, and then they're like looking at me like I was like, yeah, I'm riding. Don't worry.
I'm riding.
I'm like river rat OG.
Dude, I think that's happened to me like 3 times this year, where I've spent like a good portion of my entire winter in Hawaii this year, and I don't know what it is, but the river's always broken the day before or the day after I leave, man. And I don't know if it's coincidence.
It might be pure sabotage.
Yeah, I think so.
How long is this river ride anyways? Let's fast forward this.
I think you go 3 minutes.
40. Like we're just cruising through this river wave. Like,
yeah.
I could have wrote it.
That's a different one right there. Good try.
I mean, we're going on 2.5 minutes. Oh,
dude,
2:27. You got longer?
I might have a longer one.
Really?
We're gonna have to give Billy the video.
Where do we find the clip?
I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it on my phone.
All right.
Yep.
I got it on my phone. Is it
This
vertical?
is a beautiful, beautiful drone shot you have here, Bill.
Did you see his drone skitzing out though?
Yeah. I think
Don't give him
I've
too
got
much credit.
Nice iPhone clip of a nice 3-minute ride.
Ooh.
Might be 3 minutes.
If you want to go there, the next one, I'm gonna ride it on a boogie board for 10.
You're gonna get your 10-foot log out and just like,
and I'm gonna bring the Guinness Book of World Records on there and just let you know that I just conquered that. I'm just kidding.
That's how you function. This is a competitive guy over here. He's a competitive guy. It's kind of funny because that is, it's a calculated thing. We can measure the longest river ride.
Yeah. So you know what I really like about like river riding is or whatever we're doing. I really like there's another community of like wave riders that love riding rivers like all across America, in Europe, and like everywhere. Like, dude, this is like a big community. You go to a town like Chelan. Is it Chelan?
Yeah.
Well, we went
Lake
to Chelan. We went to Lake Chelan. That was sick. And like, it's just like a stationary wave. But these people are amazing. We ride in epic waves. There's this whole community of people that love riding these in theory kind of waves. And then recently we went to, where do we go, Billy?
Salida.
We went to Salida in Colorado, and we rode, to me, one of probably second. Well, it's hard, right? So like Waimea River and Salida is a little different. Yeah. But there was a whole community of people there, and they were so happy to see me. They were like nothing but like smiles and high fives, and I was like, wow, like this is a full community, and it's not a lot of people, but like everyone has good vibes, and it's just, to me, like riding a river can be selfish at the times because you want the best way. But when you go inland, these people are just like nothing but aloha. They're just like, you ride this wave. This is you. Like, you came all the way out here to ride this wave. Like, sick.
No. Yeah. They're super appreciative of foreigners.
Yeah.
Especially, ocean surfers coming into the mainland and riding a wave in the middle of the country. I think that that's such a special thing too, to be able to like come from a background of riding a river at your hometown. And the only reason that you can go ride a river in Colorado is because you've practiced on a river wave at the beach,
Totally.
And not every surfer can say that. So that's a special thing to be able to grow up with a river wave at the beach.
Honestly, I show up at some of these things and it's just super, it's just going to sound so bad, but like I show up, I'm like, I'm going to smash it out there. Dude. And then I get out there and I'm like, oh, like this thing's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just getting smashed by all the locals. I'm like, dude, I'm like, but like, it gives me like creativity, like to what I'm doing at Waimea River. Cause I feel like we like ride it to a standard. We ride it to how we want to ride it. Yeah. But you go to these other waves and they have so much time to like ride this certain wave that they get so good.
Yeah.
I would just be so flustered if one of these guys just showed up at my river, like Blair. Not my river, but you know, our river. All our river rats. But like I'd be so like baffled if, you know, Blair, you show up at the river at Waimea and you're gnarly, dude. And you don't even have fins on your board. Like you're outclassing all of us. And I'm just so flustered. I'm like, damn, dude, that's sick.
Dude, I think what's so special about the river waves we ride is that they change from second to second, you know? True. Whereas the river waves in the middle of the country or the one in Munich, Germany, it's like not all of them are man-made, but it's like a consistent, the waves there, it's not changing much.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to like master, I would say. Like you can get good at it because it's just always there and kind of always the same.
Totally.
But the river waves we ride change so much, and every river break's different. So we've almost been dealt with like the hardest deck of cards. Like we have to figure out, now's the time to go. Yeah. And it's only going to last for 10 seconds. And then it's going to be a foam ball and not even be rideable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
true.
I think it's easier to ride these ones that are like stationary and always there.
Totally.
But with that being said, it is humbling to go to the mainland, and like the Snake River was one that really shocked me. I want to say that's in Idaho or Wyoming. It's like right on the border. But it's like a stage 5 rapid, like a super gnarly rapid that rafters go down. And there's just this like little rock that you can jump off on the side and get into the wave. And you have to first swim across the river, which is like pretty nuts to do. Like you have to swim across upstream. And it's like, I swam across it with my skimboard and I couldn't paddle the skimboard super well. So my first time there, I just got swept down the stage.
You missed the wave.
Rapid, missed the wave completely.
Were you scared?
I was pooping my pants. I almost got to that rock wall on the side there. Like I was swimming across to get to the other side. So I'm next to the rocks and I'm just getting swept down this river. Yeah. And I thought I was going to die.
But then more importantly, you felt like, oh my God, these guys saw my videos and thought they would invite me down here. I can't even get on the wave.
Yeah. And then I'm just dying down the river, stuck in whirlpools. And they have eddies there, which I didn't even know existed. But like
we have an eddy here in Hawaii.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's spelled a little differently too. Yeah, you might want to look into that.
Okay, sounds like you didn't do too well in the eddy.
Well, did good in school and know how to spell the eddy.
Environmental scientist. I just want to remind everyone.
Yeah.
It's a different.
I was talking about the eddy, Cal.
Yeah. Yes, I know that.
That makes the Waimea River better. When the eddy runs, you could surf the eddy or surf in the morning, and then it just builds this mega berm.
Yep, and then you surf the river eddy the next day.
And usually, like when the eddy's going on, Blair's just nowhere to be seen, doesn't answer his phone call. So then the berm goes like 25 feet like the eddy, and then we break the river, and then we FaceTime him.
Biggest river you ever seen. That sounds about right.
Actually, wait. Speaking of the biggest river, who wins here? Who rode the biggest?
That's just okay. Just rub it in now, dog. This guy's for sure got the biggest river wave probably ever ridden. I don't know if there's been bigger river waves ridden. Like, I don't even know if in rivers there's been that was a pretty massive river wave.
It was big.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like,
yeah,
this is a couple years ago.
Okay, backstory to this river too. I hit up Jamie like 5 days in advance, and I knew that this berm was knew that the sand berm was huge. I knew that there was going to be this massive dump of rain. Yeah. And I hit him up 5 days in advance. Like, dude, look at the rain coming to Oahu right now. Like, you think that river is going to break? And you're like, I don't know, man. I'm not the weatherman. Like, no guarantees. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
And you know what? At the end of the day,
I
think I would have died on this river. I think I would have been here and I would have been so excited. I would have probably just got sucked out to 18-foot Waimea and died on my skimboard.
You know what's crazy? Like I showed up that day and someone was like, "You're in a float vest." I was like, "Yeah." And I showed up on my Lopez.
Yeah.
I was like, I meant serious business, but I wasn't even like trying to like not like, well, because the problem, right, is that so many people call me like, "Oh, what's Pipe gonna do this week? Looks like an epic run as well." And I was like, next thing you know, they drop everything they have, they show up, they spend a bunch of money, and then Pipe just like me.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, it had morning sickness, it did this, it did that."
Yeah.
But you did call me. You're trying to be on it, but I wasn't like, "Yeah, don't come." I said, "I'm not the weatherman. I don't know."
He said,
but oh my God.
That thing was nuts. And I kind of called it 5 days in advance. I was ready to go.
It was the perfect storm.
Ready to go.
It was like one of the biggest like berm breaches I've ever seen during like the daytime. Because usually a lot of these happen at night.
And it happens during big rains. And somehow the sun came out for your, like it just dumped super nuts up the valley.
It was a perfect storm, bro. Yeah. But like honestly, like there was probably like this river, like I hope you wouldn't have died, but like it was like there was me, Mason, Maddox, Kaikea, this guy Jesse, and a few other lifeguards. There's probably like less than 10 of us that rode it. 100 people showed up to ride it, and everyone was just like fearing, like, "Oh my God, that they
too nuts."
But it was an Aliso thing, right? It was like there was so much water volume coming out of this thing, and there was this like 20-foot berm, and it was just like
45-degree angle slope.
And like for most of the time, it didn't even form a wave. It was just like the river, and you'd see Mason, and we can cut to the clip. Mason like jumps in, he's like, "Bro, boom!" He like stands up on the surfboard, then jumps into the sand head first, and then this like
Dylan Graves had a nuts one.
Dylan Graves showed up.
Yeah, he like did the kind of it looked like it would have worked, but he didn't jump out in front of the wave enough. He like jumped on top of it, and then he just got blasted back out to sea. But sometimes you have to jump out like in front of the wave so that it catches up.
But like, Dylan Graves jumped in. But Dylan Graves didn't even get another wave after that. He was just humbled. And then my buddy Kaikea, he jumped in on the boogie board. I'm like, "Oh, he has it. He's gonna ace this thing." And he's like laying down on the boogie board. He's like kind of cruising, and then he just tries to stand up. And this river is probably going like 40 miles an hour, like the water rushing out of it. Yeah. And then Kaikea's gone. Yeah. And then I was like, "Oh my God, why did he try to stand up?" And then this other guy, Jesse King, jumps on the wave, and a lifeguard jumps on the wave, and then and I jumped on the wave for a little bit. I rode this like really weird radical one, and then I like literally sat on the side. I'm like, "Oh my God." And I saw the freaking biggest wave of my life, and I'm like looking at it at Waimea, and I'm going, "Do it." And then I was like, "I'm scared."
Do it.
And I'm like, "I don't know." Like I had all these excuses like building up in my head because like look at the shore break behind it. It was freaking like the craziest part about this.
Look how fast the water's moving.
I couldn't even. I needed a tow board. Like I should have told Lopez to shape me a tow board for this swell. Because like look at that thing.
For this
dude.
Well, look how many bumps are in it too. I mean, you would have ridden it for maybe 2 more seconds longer, and then the whole wave would have closed out.
Yeah, but
that's what people don't understand.
Look what's going on behind.
Oh yeah, but then also 3 seconds later, that wave just completely turned into a foam ball monster.
Yeah,
and those are to me are the scariest ones. If you fall, at least in California, if you fall in those foam balls, they're a washing machine, and they do this thing called what is it called? It's like a certain type of water motion that just recycles you. And I actually feel like Waimea doesn't have it as much as California does. But I've seen a couple people.
Look at the lifeguard calling them off. "Get everyone back. Everyone back.
Yeah.
You're going to die if you come near this thing."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, those, I look at, like, remember, like, watch this, like at Mason, like trying to ride a river wave. Yeah, boom, right back on the sandbar.
Mason just face planted into the sand.
Then I was like, "I'm not going to ride that wave. I'm going to go ride this one in the back." And then like you said, like, look, these people were just
getting swept out to sea.
This was gnarly. Yeah. Like I thought I was gonna die this day. Mason almost died this day. Look at this Kaikea. Like he's riding the wave. I'm like, I would have stayed on my stomach. Why are we what?
Oh my gosh. And look at that wave that washed into him.
And look, no one's like, we're just gonna cruise on the side of the river.
Yeah, no, that's insane. And I like when whoever's filming here, maybe Jacob, pans back up. Look at how much higher the top of the river is, or the top of the Waimea Bay is like 10 feet higher than where Jacob standing.
Totally.
And that's what makes a river scary, is when the water is just falling down this
look I jumped to the sandbar.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, that was a nuts one.
It's gnarly.
Yeah.
And Mace, dude, I after that Blair, after that I washed out to sea and I was like, oh my God, I literally almost died. I went under like 3 more of those waves, and I went through like an 8-10 foot shore break because like the waves were 15 feet this day.
Yeah.
My leash was like a freaking. It started off as like a comp leash. It's like a medium thick leash. It ended up like a freaking like 10-foot noodle.
Yeah.
And like I was in my life thing, and I was tucking everything under like this. I was like, oh my God. And what all I'm thinking is at this stage of the river, there's just logs and sticks starting to come through because it's all coming from the valley.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And I went under these waves and somehow survived. My leash didn't break. I popped up in the middle of Waimea Bay. If you look at the picture of the whole view of it, it's like I was in the middle.
Yeah. I wish Bill was able to get the drone shot of that thing that you went through.
I wish.
You know?
But look at that in the back right there.
Sorry, Bill. But
That's
next time, okay?
Yeah.
Next time. You live and you learn, all right? You almost did a good job.
When I fall, I need you to protect me. Even if you can't save me with your drone.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. But like, I mean, Jacob, dude, hey, how's this one real quick? We'll end on this soon. But like, dude, right here. Right. So right here, I was like riding the way. I was like, oh my God. But like the craziest thing is Jacob's like in the canal of the sand. Like he's like sliding in here right here.
Yeah.
And he's like, what is this thing?
Yeah.
And he's like falling in. He's slipping into the water with his camera. Like, dude, if Jacob would have got sucked out to sea, and he almost did, like he literally got carried out by someone, like we would have never saw Jacob ever again.
Yeah, that it is scary to just stand on the side of the river because all the sand is falling in.
The erosion's
so you're
crazy.
What are those things where you're constantly going up a stair? I don't know what those things are called. Tina might know.
Stairs?
No.
Wow, look how wide this thing is.
Never mind. But anyhow, when Jacob's standing on the side, it's very easy to just get swept into it. Yeah. And that's why the lifeguards tell everyone to stand back. Yeah. These things are no joke. They're very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing.
Totally. But and then diving into YouTube, right, is like we figured out that we could like kind of like I wouldn't say clickbait people, but we're like, you know, I destroyed this beach. But like, I mean, yeah, well, a few of us destroyed this beach, whether you like it or not. But like,
well, the 20 centimeters of rain in 1 hour destroyed the beach. Really.
Exactly.
That's what it comes down to. Or in California, it's a 7-foot tide and 8-foot swell.
Yeah.
Like that's what's going to build that berm up, fill it up. And eventually it's got to go somewhere.
I totally agree. It's not going to go back up in the sky unless it sits there for like freaking a year and it evaporates.
Yeah, no. And anytime you get a rain, it's going to, flush into the ocean.
Exactly. So maybe you got the longest river ride, and then maybe I got the biggest river.
Yeah.
But who's the biggest river at?
Oof. I think we're tied on that front.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really fun, like, shared thing that we have. And I hope it keeps going. I think my goal is to ride other river waves like the Waimea River around the world. And it's just one of my missions moving forward. I think it'd be really cool to experience some different river waves from Waimea and Aliso. Those are the 2 main ones I've ridden, and I know it happens at other places. It's just a matter of being there at the right time, and they're the hardest things to predict. Very difficult to forecast. So it's a fun dragon to chase, though, for sure.
I wanted to just dive in the wave pools because I remember the first time I realized, like
how sick was that? We just talked about rivers for like an hour. That's gonna audience retention.
We just gonna
go through the roof, dude.
Oh, no, just kidding. How me and Blair ruin beaches around the world. Actually, America.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But how do you? So I mean, I didn't really know you're that gnarly at airs on boards until you showed up at the Stab High contest in Texas and you started launching like bigger airs than the pros on a soft top. I was like, wait, what? Like this was insane.
Dude, those little soft boards, they have some pop to them. I think they're kind of a secret weapon in wave pools. And
really,
I think everyone's too core to give them a try. I think people are just, they're anti soft boards, high performance, but I feel like softboards have a flex and a pop to them that maybe a epoxy or a different board doesn't have. I like them because they feel skateboardy and they feel kind of like a skimboard to me.
Yeah, totally.
So
small.
Yeah, small and poppy. But I was stoked. That was also a big thing in my career was getting invited to the Stab High and
sick.
And being able to land a couple airs on a little boogie board looking thing and just do something that was different from what everyone else was doing. So,
totally.
And I've definitely continued to try to do that. I think I've found that separating yourself from what everyone else is doing and kind of making your own trail and creating your own path tends to work. So
Sam McIntosh, if you listen to this, there's no doubt in your mind that you should not invite this guy on a soft top every time, every year. Come on, dude. Yeah. Like, you know the rules. This guy's gnarly in the air, and it's just fun to see. You know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call it an underdog. We just want to see Blair just launch some huge airs, doing something different, because a lot of people are doing the same thing, and a lot of people are trying to stay core. But at the end of the day, they're only core to, their own game, because, they might be riding in by the likes of X, Y, and Z, and those companies aren't core, because there's very few companies in this world now that are core. So ride what you want. It's all about how you envision surfing, and who cares what anybody else thinks. Just do what feels good and do what like makes you have fun in surfing.
Yeah, for sure. I think that pools are a really great way to do that for me these days. It's so awesome to see all these different technologies popping up, and it's just like such a inspiring thing for me when I see a new wave and a new technology. I want to figure out how to ride it and like the best tool that works for that wave.
Totally.
And I think we're both pretty good at figuring out what tool we're going to use for a given wave, whether it's a river or a wave pool or for you 20-foot pipe or whatever it is. But that's something that keeps me really interested in wave riding and changing up what you're riding and all that.
Totally. I think that's the the future of surfing, or just this lifestyle we live is just take whatever you want and go ride it and have fun. And there is a path for everything. Yeah. It's like, it all depends on how much time, energy, and dedication you put into something is going to make you relevant. And,
for sure.
Content is key, right?
Yep. Yeah. I think it's that's the hardest thing to keep evolving with, is creating good videos and stuff that's not going to get old and that's going to, I don't know, be entertaining for people to watch, right?
Totally.
And you're a master at it. I'm definitely trying to be, but it's I think we have very different strategies in how we produce our videos and what we think is going to work. But I think these wave pools and rivers and weird waves are a great way to kind of keep evolving and keep people interested in wave riding in general.
Totally. So I got a question. So what overall, like, what's the highest viewed video that you posted on YouTube? Because like, I remember there was a time where on YouTube I was already at 600,000 subscribers and you're at like 60,000, and I was like, well, yeah, we're doing our thing. And then like, there was something, you took a different approach. I stayed with the kind of like the standard, like what I know is going to work.
Yeah.
But I felt like you always took the risk to push and elevate, like right now I'm almost at 1.2 million. You're at 3 million.
Yeah.
Like there was something different, something viral, something that you did. And I don't know, I felt like as a surfer and YouTuber, maybe more of a YouTuber now because I'm going to surf a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But I feel like
right.
you took a lot more risks than I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went with like what I knew because I was kind of the innovator in this space besides Ben Gravy and our Red Bull YouTube channel that we started a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was kind of a happy accident for me, but I ended up dislocating my shoulder one summer and was out with an injury for like 2 months in like the prime of being in Laguna and like being in California. And it was.
Do you have the clip of that injury?
I do have the clip of that injury.
Can we get that?
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Happy to share that.
Not good, but
no. Yeah. It was a freak accident. And, you know, I've fallen into the sand a million times, but this wave just like exploded on the sand. And I thought like, oh, no worries. I'll just like body surf it out.
Mm-hmm.
But there was so much pressure and like so much force that it just like popped my shoulder like completely.
Oh, you dislocated your whole shoulder.
Yeah, dislocated my whole shoulder and it didn't pop back in. Like it was just blown out. And it was the weirdest thing because I was like, oh, is it broken? Like what's going on? Like I can't move my arm. It's just like locked in this weird place.
Yeah.
And so yeah, anyhow, it ended up being a lot longer of a recovery than I thought. Like tore my labrum, probably one of the worst skim injuries I've had. But that led to me posting short format videos on YouTube before shorts were even a thing. This was like back in the days when they were beta testing shorts and I was hashtagging shorts, taking a very big risk at the time.
Yeah.
I'm like uploading videos every other day and my audience is used to me posting long format videos and now they're getting a 10, 15 second video from me every other day. And it's with a weird hashtag and like people didn't know what the heck it was, but it worked because I think it put my videos on this shorts page way before shorts was a thing. And then when shorts became a thing, it was like I was the person who had already posted those in water sports and no one else was doing it yet.
You're ahead of the curve.
Way ahead of the curve. And it was literally because I had nothing else better to do than upload videos. And that's what I wanted to do as my career. And that's what was working for me in skimboarding. And the only way that I could make a living off of skimboarding in general, like it's very hard to make it in contests or with sponsorships. So yeah, it was huge for me and even getting recognition by the surf community and that kind of thing. Cause now I had a channel in water sports on YouTube that was growing and at a rate that was like crazy to people.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I definitely, and I still take risks. And I think that, I don't know, there's definitely videos that don't work for me and that's just how it goes. Like, I don't really care.
So what's your most viewed video?
Most viewed video? I think my most viewed video was just it was a follow cam, someone with a GoPro chasing me down the beach. And it started out where like I'm at the top of the beach and there's this really pretty house with palm trees, a mansion basically on the beach. And then I run into a wave, just turn, and it's like a pretty nice turquoise blue barrel right on the sand. Thing explodes on the sand, kind of like the wave that broke my shoulder. Yeah. And those are waves of high risk. Like
totally.
You gotta stay on
your board,
stay over your board, or else like your board's gonna hit you.
Yeah. Or
you're gonna eat sand.
What do you think that thing was, like 300 million views?
424 mil. Yeah. And then I've got like these videos.
Insane.
Yeah, these videos did huge for me. I mean, they boosted my subscribers and my channel. I think like this last year I got over 1 billion views.
That's
on
insane.
YouTube from these short format videos. So yeah, I don't know. I just ended up posting a short a day when I had a dislocated shoulder and
it worked.
It turned into now I'm posting 2 to 3 shorts a day.
But like then you were on it, you're ahead of the curve. So it's like you beat a lot of people to the punch, which really helped you grow your channel. But I feel like though, like, you know, what you've done with your channel is you could ride anything, you could ride any craft, and you could do airs just as good as anybody else. So I feel like that kind of solidifies you as like, you know, like a solid, you know, person in the industry, and you control and like own your market, you know, and I love that. I just love the outsiders. I like the underdog. I like people are like just coming in, just ruffling feathers, where it's like you show up at the Stab High event, you're about to win this contest, throwing huge airs on soft tops.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I think that's also what helps keep things fresh too. Is like
Totally.
You're able to ride all these different boards. You do a really good job of that. And, you know, if you're doing the same thing over and over again, it can get old. So
yeah, 100%.
How are you going to keep evolving and you know, entertaining people in a sense?
I guess what it's kind of like, as we're wrapping this thing up, like we just went on a trip to Japan. Like, what was this trip like to Japan? It was your first trip to Japan. We had a great time, but like, what was your expectations? Like kind of going into this whole thing.
I didn't know it was going to be your precursor to your bachelor party.
It was kind of like,
it was a pregame to your bachelor party.
Yeah,
it was
I'm
a good time.
now, like, bling, bling.
Which, by the way, congratulations to you and Tina.
We celebrated good.
Oh my gosh, that was the most fun wedding party I've ever been to.
It was radical,
and I'm just honored to have seen your relationship, you know, evolve over the past few years and get to spend time with both of you. And I think Tina's an incredible person and just so good for what you're doing and to round you out as an individual.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Very, very stoked for you guys to tie the knot and
thanks
and celebrate your big day and have the most epic day of wave riding in front of your house. Basically,
we scored the epic skim wave in front of Pipe that day.
That was silly, man. I was losing it. But yeah, I mean, it was this friendly little point break right in front of your wedding party. And, you know, we're listening to music, hanging out.
Dogs are on the beach trying to sabotage my skimming abilities.
And I think at one point your whole wedding party was just at the beach and riding waves. Like that's like something that's so special that all your friends and everyone got to enjoy your big day by doing what you guys love.
But remember this one? I was like, pow.
Oh yeah. That was solid.
My dog out.
I got so excited about that backflop.
But what about my monkey drop? Look at this thing.
No.
A doink.
Jamie doesn't get enough credit for his skimming. He has some really good ability on a skimboard. Like, you surprise me every time you step foot on one of those things.
I remember when I was at the wedge with you, I did a sick wraparound once. I got barreled. That was pretty sick.
No, you know what you're doing on those boards. You can tell like a lot of people who grew up in Hawaii started riding boogie boards into the shore break and stuff. Yeah, totally. And that really translates to skimboarding or finless board riding.
Well, it's all about getting used to waves and X, Y, and Z.
Yep, exactly. And reading them like that, that as a young kid, you learn how to read waves from skimboarding. Like you know how to time them. So you're very good. You're still incredible at jumping on a finless board. And
I just got to stay skinny. That way I could run fast like Blair. Because as of now, I weigh like 40
it's
pounds
not stay
more
skinny,
than Blair.
It's run fast and then you stay skinny.
True, but
just need to start chasing the ball with your dogs, maybe.
Yeah. All right. So look at this one. Remember we were in Cabo and I decided to go skimboard. My most skimboard viral clip.
Okay.
I thought, you know, that when I went down to Cabo, I had some game. So I dropped the board and I kind of come into this wave. And I'm like, oh my God, this thing looks like a freaking 8-10 footer at Pipe that's about to land on dry sand. And I literally bailed out and just got pinned to the sand right there.
Yeah. And the sand's a little harder than it is here in Hawaii. Shore break in Cabo and just in Mexico in general is super, super gnarly.
I think the shore break at Cabo is way gnarlier than the shore break at Keiki's.
Yeah, I mean, the Keiki sand is just more pillowy and forgiving.
You get pinned in the sand, it feels like you just slammed into the couch. But like at like freaking Cabo, it feels like concrete. I swear.
Yeah, it can be treacherous for sure. It's like a granite as opposed to a shell based.
Yeah,
it's like gnarly. It's a solid rock as opposed to maybe a flakier, fluffier shell.
Super gnarly.
Yeah, you crushed on that trip, dude. Yeah. I mean, that had to have been one of your more viral clips. Was on a skateboard.
I posted that thing multiple times. I just went nuclear
on everything. Yeah, nuclear on TikTok, nuclear on YouTube. Yeah,
I don't know.
Good.
The crazy thing is, I thought I was gonna I don't even know what I was thinking I was gonna do.
I kind of knew what you were thinking. You're thinking I'm gonna get absolutely destroyed.
No, I was like, I'm gonna slide at this thing and do a wrap and pull in the barrel.
Oh my gosh, that would have been the biggest wrap barrel ever done, dude. I remember watching that thing come in, like, holy crap! He knows he's gonna get destroyed, but he's just he's gonna go.
It looked good when I was approaching the beach, and then I was on this like 45 like freaking hill, and I was just like, boom! I was like running faster than I ever ran in my life. I'm like looking up this way. I'm like, I'm gonna make this thing. I'm gonna wrap it and pull in the barrel. And it seems like I'm gonna like end up pulling into this big backdoor barrel. And I like got halfway. I'm like, oh no, this wave's way faster than I ever ran. This thing's like gonna run me over. And drilled me in the sand, like spit me like halfway back up at the beach, sucked me back out. And there was another one. I was washed back and forth. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was funny watching Hawaiians go out in Cabo because you guys were like, I think under the impression that the sand was soft, like cakey, and just fearless. You guys were freaking fearless. And coming from California, where the sand at wedge and stuff, like you hit the sand at wedge, you can get a full on sand burn. Like,
it looks like you hit the reef, but it was just a sand rub.
Yeah, or you land wrong and it's like you break yourself or like, you know. So watching you guys at Cabo and like learning how tough that sand can be was kind of mind blowing. I was like, these guys, this is a different breed. These freaking Hawaiians are just out of control. They're trying to destroy themselves.
The Hollies are on.
I'm trying to keep myself in one piece over here.
Yeah, it's scary.
But yeah, those were some incredible times together. Like some of our earlier videos we filmed, and those did super well for both of us.
Yeah.
And, just the novelty of charging shore break and going in waves that are very, very dangerous, and being able to walk out and walk back up the beach and do it again. Like there's something to that.
And the only reason you get good at that is because we've done it our whole lives, whether it was on a boogie board or surfing or longboarding or like, it doesn't matter what it is. It's like, we've done it for so long. It's called a controlled fall. You see the skateboarders do it. You see the BMX riders do it. You see the skimboarders do it. Like,
you learn how to fall from a young age, and that's
everything.
When you're young, you're a little bit more flexible and you know how to make mistakes. Now, when we're older, it's like, thank God we've learned how to fall the right way. You know,
totally.
So and we still make mistakes, but those are some incredible videos to participate in with you from the beginning. And
pleasure.
So hopefully we can keep it going and
it's going.
keep the here we are.
Hopefully we got a 1 minute river break soon.
No kidding. Maybe next year around the next Eddie, I'll be back out.
I think Blair's just gonna move to Hawaii half the year.
I've spent more of 2024 in Hawaii than I probably have in Laguna. So
that's good.
Yeah.
But we're gonna end this thing. Thank you, Blair.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Dude, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure hanging and chatting with you. And let's continue all the fun shenanigans.
You know, it's funny. Maybe like in like November this year, we like all sat down here and we just like messed around and we just turned the earphones and the microphones on and we just talked for like 20 minutes. I'm like, we got to do a podcast. And I know it's been so long, but like this was super fun. I'm super psyched to do this one with you. And
for sure. Should we get a little like after action of a ping pong game right now? Should we just break it into what a ping pong game looks like?
Yeah. One round.
Yeah. He might have ridden the biggest river wave at Waimea ever.
But he smokes me at ping pong. I'm going to change this whole like dynamic. I'm going to get the longer ride and I'm going to smash him at ping pong.
We've been giving him lessons.
Yeah, basically.
We trade Red Bulls for lessons.
It's kind of sad, but it's the truth.
Yeah, we need to work on your serve next. Your serve is a little illegal.
Is it?
It's a little illegal.
Why?
Yep.
Now you tell me.
Yeah, it's okay.
Because we're talking to thousands of people.
We'll work on it, but you got to throw the ball up a little bit more and away from the body and then hit it. You like to do this little thing where you keep it really close and like hide it from me. That just doesn't
He's
fly.
All mad. He's all mad.
Doesn't fly, dog.
Oh, wait. Let's cut to this little ping pong segment.
We're on.
If Jamie makes it to 12 points, I'm buying him dinner at Turtle Bay. If he doesn't get to 12 points, he's buying me dinner.
All right, ping pong rally. Let's go.
Oh! Ooh, you got a point. Another point.
Come on, 10 more points and I got dinner. That's ours. Oh! It's like
19-2.
You showed my worst performance. That's what that was.
21-2.
That's a Turtle Bay dinner is what it was.
Good thing
get employee. Oh. Good thing you get employee discount over there.
Oh. All right. Well,
21-0.
Basically, I don't know where that one just went, but I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog, or not the vlog, but the pod. Don't forget, click the link right here to subscribe to me and Blair's channel, and right here to watch more videos. And thanks for tuning in, and peace, love from Hawaii. We will be back.